ask you this. That often you hear of, especially some young women,
Uh-huh.
where a man has come in their life, they made all sorts of promises, maybe they've slept with them, done everything, or I'm going to marry you Christmas, or I'm going to marry you, and then they disappoint them.
Yes.
So let's talk about that serious element. Some of these women go crazy. Some of these women get depressed, and even sometimes vice versa. When a man is, intent on marrying a woman, and maybe after 6 months of courtship, a year, and they finds out the woman was probably using him for money. On the serious note, for the other person who has been led on, especially when it comes to things like marriage, how does one, I guess, get over it? And if you're doing it unknowingly, is that deception essentially?
Thank you so much. You see,
it is deception.
When one decides to say, these are the things I want in my life, these are the criteria I really want to look at, stature, education, financial, all that, and then the man is coming, because you've set that criteria, you would like to fit yourself into it. And so when the man comes and says, hey, I'll do that, I'll do that, you are trying to tell it towards what you had actually planned in your mind. Okay, so the expectation is, boom, I'm waiting for it. And then if it falls, that is where you break down, you shut down. Now, when it happens like that, Amma, what you must realize is that, ask yourself, who are you? Is that what you were looking for? Was it something that was leading you to it? Couldn't you have just paused a second and look at it well? That was there a future in the language of the man or the woman? Or was it just...
But sometimes there is.
Actively, they'll tell you, I love you,
they want to buy you this, they want to give you that,
and they're just leading you
blah,
on.
blah, blah, and then they shift on you, and, well, no, I think I'm going to go out with this person. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
And it's very devastating.
It does.
I mean, and it takes a long time, because then you go, what was that all about? Was the entire thing a lie? Did this person ever really care about me? Or were they just using me? And it sends you down an entire careening.
And it takes a long time for you to come back. Because you're human. You're not just going to heal in one second.
Because there's rejection.
Exactly.
There's rejection, there's betrayal, there's deception. There's all these elements that come in, and then you question yourself. Well, what cue did I miss? Did I not see this coming? And then you review everything that happened in the relationship, and then you start asking yourself questions, and then you might see a few things that were a little shifty, and you go, I should have paid more attention to that, and you end up beating yourself up a lot. So you have to get past, this person was a deceptive person. That does not take away from the character of who I am. That does not take away from my desirability, my ability to be a lovable person, because you could end up hating yourself and thinking that you're not desirable because this person has cast you off. And it's got nothing to do with you, and everything to do with the other person and their own set of morals, their character, and the fact that they preyed on you and fed into your needs and then dropped you like it's hot, like they say in the States.
Yes. And sometimes when you're not careful, if you don't heal properly and accept yourself for who you are, you transfer it to the next person.
Every other person.
You don't believe anything, and then you just carry on the hate.
Again, you see, when it happens like that, you see, the man aspect had failed you, so you come back to God. You see, you need to healing. You need to heal, and then accept the fact that to yourself that, look, you made a big mistake. You are prepared to, as it were, repair. If that will not happen, you go through a terrible.
Like it happened to a friend of mine not too long ago, and my advice to her, I told her, look, I can't heal you. There are no words to make up for all these things. And nobody can make you feel better. So every morning, just wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm beautiful no matter what. And that was my advice to her. And recently she called me and she said, sometimes she looks at the man and she was asking herself, was I even drunk?
So that vibration has actually come.
All right, let's look at, and I've had conversations with men who feel like, if a woman leads me on to a certain degree, she deserves what she gets. And this is where there's a danger. Whereas maybe as a woman or a young woman, whatever, you're talking to a guy, you go for dinners, he gives you some money or he buys you gifts, you're enjoying it. Okay, then you get to that point of where you go and visit him at his house. And then you go and lie on his bed. And every time maybe you do some stuff, okay, and then I'm going. And then you lead the man on, you get to a certain point and then go. If that day, I'm not saying that rape is ever justified, because there's been situations when they say, she led me on. She led me on. Or if a man forces himself upon you as a, how then do you justify that if you did that consciously. I'm not saying, and we've had situations where it's happened.
Well, you have to take responsibility for putting yourself in these situations.
You can't
don't want to throw all the blame on the other person.
So why you don't want to go into that closeness, that private thing with a man. So don't even enter his house in the first place.
Right.
If you have to go to his house, don't go to the bedroom. Because anything can happen.
Curiosity.
Yeah. If he jumps on you, one thing, you have yourself to blame. Even though it's wrong, you
set yourself up for it.
And some of the men too, they can't take no.
Right.
Sometimes the woman will just do it, and you start and they tell you no. There's a way of saying no, and there's a way of saying no. When I say no, I mean no.
Yeah.
So you say it, and you have to understand, even if it's no, that word no is no.
A kick with a no usually helps. No, this is what I'm saying. The reason I'm actually saying this, I had a friend who went through, this was actually a very serious issue. She was talking to a guy, and she was adamant she didn't want to sleep with him. But they found themselves in a situation where he had a lot of alcohol. He ended up at her house about 2 or 3 in the morning, and they started kissing. And put it this way, he ended up forcing himself upon her. But she was just like, she kept saying, well, it's my fault, it's my fault. Funny enough, afterwards, she ended up kind of dating him in a very kind of sick, twisted way. But it was just like, hold on, like, why would you? Because she said, well, I did like him, I just didn't want to do it then. But it was a horrible situation. I always find that kind of weird. But it was a line where, why is a man in your house in your bed at 2 or 3 a.m.?
No,
but it's still not justified. But it still wasn't justified.
And she's dating him because they've done it once. That's why she's dating, because she doesn't want to have a one-night stand.
Yes.
But
there's a line between being a victim and a volunteer.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you have to know when you've set yourself up for certain things. It never justifies.
It
never justifies rape. But there's a thing about putting yourself in a line of danger. And so as much as you can, be responsible for yourself and have realistic boundaries that keep you out of those types of situations.
Okay.
Yes,
I want to let's talk about, there is I guess it's not even a trend. I mean, it happens in most parts of the world, but one of the things I've realized in Ghana especially is money is very alluring to young females. There's men, whether they're young or old, and they see a girl and they feel like they start with, there's a mobile phone they give them, and it's alluring. How often, because when especially you're doing that, knowing that you're probably not interested in this man, but he's giving you phones, he's giving you money,
you feel obligated,
they're buying you things. Then if you put yourself, okay, well, let me just lead him on, he'll give me this, when does it come too far? And when does that, as a young lady, well, as maybe a young man, if you're in that situation, when do you know when to stop it?
Well, here's the thing, you have to remember there's a price for everything. Nothing in life is free. You can't take things from people and not expect them to want something back. Any smart person who invests makes an investment, expects a return.
Exactly.
And then ask yourself, the thing you are getting, you are receiving, do you merit it at that moment?
What did you do for it?
What did you do for it? Oh, okay. Is it because the ladies I see on TV do that I want to do? Then it means that society is actually running you. But who are you? What is it that you want? Do you merit that? Can you maintain it? Can you handle it? That's the question we're asking. If you answer all and you say yes, I can do, then you actually bring yourself into it.
And sometimes also, some people are just giving, naturally giving.
Yes,
they'll see you and they give. They travel and say, "Oh, Amma, I saw her last time with some phone. Oh, I think she needs a she's my friend."
And then they give it to you. And people can sometimes misinterpret it.
I'm giving you without wanting anything back. But the person receiving thinks, oh, because she's giving me so much, I think I need to
do something to
well, some people are just takers and they don't. They just take and take and take and take.
Of course, taking is easier.
It's no giving. I didn't ask. They say you give, you receive.
I'm a person that travels. If I see someone in the airport, so would love that air. I love seeing a smile on the person's face. Now, but I'm kind of quirky because I don't like you to ask me for anything.
No,
that's true.
Don't ask me. If I go somewhere and see something, I know Amma likes this, and I'm like, I think this thing will fit Amma.
Yes.
Well, do I have enough money? Okay, I can spare. Amma, here.
Here you go.
Yes.
But if you ask me the next time, I'll take, once I'll say, okay, no problem. If you ask me again, hello, I'm out.
You're taking
it.
It means that yes.
So what I'm going to deduce actually from here is that you must have your own principles.
You must have.
And you must stick by them.
Exactly.
Move by them. You yourself respect so that somebody else can respect it.
Exactly.
If you let go, you actually betray yourself.
That's
okay. Then in terms of just to protect yourself, especially a lot of young women out there looking for husbands and vice versa, how do you protect yourself? What are the clear signs that, okay, this person is clearly not serious. Because you can flirt, a lot of people flirt and it's harmless. But when is it that point of where maybe you're really interested in a guy or you're really interested in a girl, maybe you spend time with them, you're having lunch, you're having dinner, you're calling them every day, but you realize that it's not going anywhere. When should you realize that maybe this person is leading me on? They may not tell you they're leading you on, but when do you just think, maybe let me divert my attention just to protect yourself?
When we start, as a result of curiosity, as a result of expectation, as a result I want to know more, you try to cut it a little bit, so the graph line goes up.
Okay.
But a point will come, you see inconsistency in the language, in the gestures, in the actions, in the decisions. You see it. And so that is where you should. So these are ambers showing to you that, hey, start looking. Because they start comparing, they start talking as if you are not what they were actually looking for, but A is like that, B is like that. So these are the things you need to be looking at. Very important. And don't use circumstances as a basis of wanting to go out with this person. It will work. It will work.
And if you meet somebody and you like the person, I always say, whether be a man or a woman, we're all human. If you're a woman and you meet a man, you become friends and you think you falling in love genuinely and you want to date this person genuinely, I think there's no harm in saying it. Just once the person is your friend, you can spell it out nicely. And if the person understands it, hey, it's good to go. But if the person says, no, I think I have somebody serious, or no, back out.
Yes.
Don't feel rejected or anything. Just keep on being friends, and don't harbor any love towards him and hope that one day he will love you. If that one day comes and he brings you an invitation card to a wedding to another woman, you will die. So don't harbor that love that he will love me one day. Let me try and be nice. No, just be yourself.
Honest and be honest.
Be honest and say it. There's no harm in saying how
what
you
if the
feel.
person says no?
But then at least you know.
Take it. It's just like waking up
make up their minds.
It's just like going to bed at night and waking up in the morning. You're not sure whether you wake up in the morning. So just say it. If the person says no, go on with your life.
No, but I'm saying, what if they say no? I really am interested in you, and I'm just confused.
So no matter what has happened,
let's get confused. I don't want to confuse.
It means that you're losing your person.
You're losing your person.
You're losing your person.
You're losing the person.
Look, as we all sit down, we have something we cherish most. Everybody has got that future aspect. Why would you hoard it now? Just because somebody says. Just because somebody says.
Okay.
Realize who you are.
You should know who you want.
Realize who you are.
What you want.
Exactly.
First of all, you should know yourself.
Exactly.
This is me. I am like this. This is what I want.
Exactly.
This is how I want to work towards it.
Exactly.
And then you go on. But if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want.
Exactly.
You can't see it in the other person.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about married people. You're a married woman, and I'm sure he's married. Michelle, we're not married. It's all good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when, as a woman or as a man, as somebody else feels like you have led them on. And it happens.
Yeah.
Some married men, maybe they're a bit friendly with some women outside, and the woman would think, but why did you lead me on? But maybe you're trying to just being innocent. And obviously, I'm sure there's been a lot of men who may not know you're married, and they've come and tried it with you, and then they think, but Pascal, you're leading me on.
I always do this.
The ring.
Watch this. Is here.
But a lot of people don't value a ring.
No, because most people are wearing a lot of things these days.
Just to cover.
So
they can even know you're married, but they still don't care.
No, you know what somebody told me? He said the married ones are more responsible.
Oh, I've
don't give you any pressure.
Yes, they said when a woman,
they don't give you any pressure.
They said when a woman is married and you go in for her, there's no pressure. There's no come to say I want credit. There's no say I want a new phone.
That's true.
When he told me that, I said, you know what? My phone is old. I need a new one.
Exactly.
And then he was like, oh, you are different. I'm like, yeah.
If you're bringing yourself.
But you know what? Here's the thing, and it's interesting. I say it all the time. If women did not entertain men that they knew were married or in a relationship already, there would be no adultery.
Exactly.
So women could actually eradicate unfaithfulness.
Exactly.
But because they want attention themselves and they just take it wherever they can get it, there's a big problem. But even for single people that encounter married people who are flirtatious, the single person is responsible for drawing the lines. As soon as that starts with guys in my life, I say, hey, you're my big brother.
That's right.
That's it.
I give them a title, and I force them into a brotherhood.
They hate that.
Exactly.
Those titles work. It will subdue that man.
Exactly.
Like, hey, I think there's some kind of a value, there's some kind of a respect.
You know, the way they say you're my brother is like, okay, I got to behave.
Now you have to behave.
But sometimes, as married women, or let's say married people, sometimes, let's say my husband wants something from you, and because you're a woman and he's a man, maybe you know he's married, this man won't do it, so you're finding it difficult to release whatever it is. And if I get to know, I come like, oh, but you know, this I flirt with you, so you can release whatever he wants. And that
snap! Wait.
Yes.
So you can flirt if you want something. You can still flirt, knowing that it's just.
Oh yeah, I'm just flirting for you to do whatever he wants. So okay, you really want me? Okay, let's go on. Okay, so do that, and then you know. So as soon as he gives me the guy did this, I'm like, okay, full stop. And I'm gone.
But then you and your husband have a very...
He has to know.
No.
He has to know. So that communication must be there. He has to know. Otherwise, you go and then you fall. Yes. I mean, women are...
This is serious. Trust me. But I think that's a valid point. Most people may not talk about it. But a lot of times...
You have to talk about
it. Maybe you know your wife is hot and the man is interested. Yeah. You're like, come with me to the meeting.
Exactly.
Just to...
There was a situation where I was supposed to meet this gentleman from London. It was a job. And this man kept saying, I should meet him in a hotel. I tell you, you wait. So one time, he came down, he said, I went on some trips and then I got some nice things for you. So I'm coming to Golden Tulip, blah, 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 blah. So I told my husband, okay, this is the deal. So we go together, but he doesn't know. You're going to be in the waiting room. And when you see me enter, give me 3 seconds. And knock on that door. Don't stay more than 3 seconds. Because if you do more than 3 seconds and anything happens to me, it's your fault. So,
and he agreed?
Yes. Because
her husband too. Have you seen her husband? His muscles are like this. Hey, my husband is hot. I won't say who it is.
So we went. And this guy doesn't know my husband anyway. So he was sitting there and they were chatting through for everything. When he came and said, hi, let's go. And I'm like, 3 seconds.
No.
Said, who? Room service. He opened the door. I said, oh gosh, that's my husband. He's got us. So I took everything, did my everything. Then I'm gone. Straight up.
See,
was that deception?
That could only happen to a man.
Was that deception?
I didn't deceive him. He brought it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted my job done.
Coco, what
but
do you
the
say about
actions
that?
of your husband is the one who really, really understands you.
Exactly.
Who you
But now, wait a minute. I mean, should you really have been receiving the presents from the guy?
It wasn't a present. It was a job.
It's a job.
And he brought a present to call me.
Okay. Okay.
It was a job. I had to sign a contract.
Okay.
But somebody somewhere could have gone alone.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're talking about being responsible for yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you're working in partnership with your husband. That's great.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay.
All
right. Okay.
All right, Coco, as a married man too, sometimes have you ever had the situation where maybe being nice to a young lady or a lady outside, that woman then thinks, oh well, yes, I know he's married, but maybe he's. How do you deal with situations like that?
You need to be very careful. You know, for me, for instance,
do you tell your wife to when things like that happen?
You have to weigh it. If that is not the conversation you do have, then it means that you are not implanting. But if something we do say casually, as we introspecting ourselves, then it's okay. So you need to be a bit tougher, else you will actually plant something that will degenerate in suspicion. All right. So when it happens like that, for me, it's such that I don't go places. So if it's going to happen like that, then where are we going to go? You see my point? So there's a challenge there. So it could just be a little. And I did sort of taking people in my car for some time, and everybody was pointing. I stopped that. Because you see, you might think that it's something going on.
You're giving somebody a ride.
Exactly. The idea wasn't that, but somebody says it's like that, and the way you are.
So you just avoid it.
So my advice is that look, when you are in that situation, you have to open your eyes, because the little closeness of your eyes will be taken against you, and it could come down just like that.
You know, some women are very persistent.
Yes, they will, because they need.
They take your number and they call you at all times when your wife is around.
Women are very aggressive.
You can't say no in front of your wife because she would think something else if you're not. And
can I just tell you that this whole texting and pinging
is getting people in trouble,
and WhatsApping and chat on and all of this is killing our society.
It is.
You know, I mean, this has got to stop. You know what? I've had my BB now for 2 years. And you know how many people I ping with? 5 people.
That's good.
I don't, you know, and they're just necessary people in my life, you know, and I dropped one because it made me angry. But, but I'm saying that this whole, it opens up a whole new world of flirtation, leading people on, you know, because women are moved by what they hear. Not, you know, they don't even need the actions. It's just the titillating of the inner senses, and men are moved by what they see. So now we're sexting and we're texting and we're WhatsApping and we're what's bootying and we're, I mean,
like my friend in Nigeria was saying, we're even air fucking. Language, but
it's very,
you don't see the person.
You didn't get that deep. You didn't get that deep, did you? But it is so true. It is. And all of this kind of stuff. And you know what? You have to be very careful what you put on the phone, because that person keeps it and files it. I mean, I've got some stuff archived if I want to erase it. But all I'm saying is that if you're married, especially, I don't think you should venture into that terrain, because you are setting yourself up for a lot of distrust with your partner. Your partner is now going to go into your phone to see what's going on, and women are calling you and pinging you, or men are calling and pinging you. It's just not a good situation. It sets you up for a mess.
Time on this, but this is a point I wanted to kind of bring up as well. There's a situation of a married friend of mine, him and his wife, they're like really, really cool. So there's a situation where a girl that they both knew, you know, he's a handsome guy, lots of girls like him. But what happens is, if he's talking to anybody, the wife is aware. There was a situation, he was talking to one woman, I think it was a work related, and one time the woman sent her pictures of herself. See, boom. Yeah, lucky for him, because you know, his wife was like, what the hell? That was when he knew, I'm going to cut this off, he's gone too far. He didn't actually ask the girl. I think the girl thought, oh, well, if he's talking to me, I'm going to show him something. So my whole thing is this, when you say weighing up, if you're talking to a girl and you're sending a message as a married man, and then when, I think being honest sometimes can stop you doing the silly thing, because another man, if he was doing like, hey, Chade, then that would, even if you don't want to, maybe that would entice you to go out. So I personally think sometimes you should be as honest, especially when you're married, because isn't marriage like your wife?
And be responsible.
But I'm telling you that just keeping up conversations makes people believe that you're interested in them. I mean, even if someone sends me a text and it's a married man, and you know, maybe I sent him some information, and all of a sudden he becomes very chatty. Well, how are you? Well, what do you? I mean, I have a situation like that going on, where the person keeps popping up and going, I was thinking about you. How was your weekend? I'm like, huh? You're married. Why are you thinking about me? Why do you care about my weekend? And so I keep it very short. It was good. I hope yours was too. Then it'll get into, well, what's going on with you? When that happens, I just don't answer. I stop answering.
Yes, I have a couple of texts that are blank like that. I don't answer.
You just have to stop it.
Or sometimes I say nothing. How is the family?
You go
How
is
the wife? Your wife.
How is the wife? Regards to the wife.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, you just
before we wrap up, leading on or being led on, we've talked about the signs. I just want to recap, because I do feel it's about protecting yourself.
Yes.
So how do you protect yourself? Just recap on some of the points that we talked about, so that, you know, if somebody's leading on, first of all, you see the signs, and then you don't put yourself out there. Okay, that's true. Some people would just lie.
Sometimes you don't, you know. And maybe you don't because you didn't really ask the right questions. I think that one of the way you safeguard, although people lie, so even that doesn't work. I mean, that goes back to God. I mean, just really staying sensitive in your spirit, because I just believe that God will show you a person's heart. You know, unless there's a lesson he wants you to learn, he might let you go for a little while in the situation. But at some point, the light comes on and everything gets revealed. So, you know.
Okay.
And again, we should be very careful as to some kind of the criteria that we set for ourselves, the expectations that we really want to go for. Because, you see, when somebody falls into one of your bases, you like to explore. And that's what leads on. So we should be very, very careful. Yes, very important.
Okay, and Pastor, your last words on this?
Also, we should watch, for people like me, we should watch some of the words we say to people.
The darlings, the
sweethearts. Because some people in their life probably have never been called any of these names. So the moment you say that, you make them feel so important,
open the door,
so good, and then they want to hear more, and then it wakens up certain things in their heart and their brains, and then they want to just come to you. But it's not like that. So we should watch some of the things we say to people, our actions and all that. We should just be careful. And sometimes there are people who are used to those things. But coming from a certain kind of person, it opens another door. So we should just be careful in all aspects.
And quickly, words are powerful. Words make. Yes. Words can move. We should be very careful.
Yes. It's been a hot morning discussion. I don't even know what to say next. All right. Just want to say a wonderful thank you very much. First and foremost, Michelle McKinney-Hammond, to Kwaku Dumata, and to actress Pascaline Edwards. And we've been talking about leading on and when you've been led on. So, had some really interesting views there. Of course, this is our lifestyle segment on New Day, proudly brought to you by Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature. Right now, I need a cup of tea after that discussion. Don't go anywhere. There's more coming.